at least, of course, of getting ready for Santa Claus to get here. uh, Good evening, and I thought about something today about a nice broadcast idea. How about let's give some of these teams Christmas gifts like we give out Christmas gifts to our loved ones, our kids, our family, and things like that. But first, if you haven't, download the HAPS app. You can subscribe anytime to get notified anytime I go live. And if you would, hey, support my work. Subscribe, buy me a cup of coffee. You can actually hit the little subscribe button or to support me as well if you would like. All right. Now, I will tell you, usually I jump in and do Titans talk, and I'm talking about the Titans. But as you can see, I've got Christmas pajamas on. Yes, I've got Christmas pajamas on. And I'm feeling in the Christmassy mood, and I figured why not give out some gifts to some teams, some players, some that may need those or that maybe need a little something. We're gonna start with the NBA, the New York Knicks. I'm sure plenty of Knicks fans don't want to hear about the New York Knicks, and it's too early to talk about them sometimes, but with some of them. However, the New York Knicks, we're going to gift them some direction. When they hired Tom Thibodeau, that's what they were looking for. Hopefully for them, they can get some direction so they can lead them back to consistent playoffs and to build and get better there. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Ted? What's going on? Is it Ncaa? Hopefully I'm saying your name right. But good evening. And Vivid Builder 6593 said a new owner. It'd be nice if the Knicks got a new owner, but James Dolan's never selling that team. It's just not going to happen. It makes too much money, even in losing, for him to sell that team. But yeah, they need some direction. Hopefully, Tom Thibodeau for them can provide that, and hopefully, some of their picks pan out, like R.J. Barrett, like Obi Toppin this year, and like just anybody they have. I would say, hopefully, something for them pans out, and they can get back to being a consistent playoff team or near the playoffs or something of that nature. Just some sort of consistency, because it's always good when the Knicks are good in the NBA. What's going on, Pablo? What's going on? How's everything in Los Angeles? I bet it's not as cold as it is in Tennessee. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, by the way, folks. I bet it's not as cold here. It's going to be in the teens here tonight, which, as you can tell, I've got my winter pajamas on to be ready for the cold weather. All right. As far as speaking of Los Angeles, let's go to the Clippers. Let's specifically go to Paul George. For those that don't know, Paul George moved to the LA Clippers last year via trade. Him and Kawhi Leonard linked up out there, and everybody had them as a team to win the championship. Well, they were up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets and lost in the Western Conference semifinals. A lot of that blame went on Paul George, or as people were calling him in the playoffs, Pandemic P. Well, what I can say is teams are hoping, or Paul George and Clipper fans are hoping that they don't see that same playoff, or excuse me, pandemic P again this year. For a Lakers fan, you probably would love to see it, or any other team that's going against them. But Clippers fans and for Paul George in general, he does not want to have that same type of performance again. So for Paul George, we're going to gift him a successful postseason, whatever that may mean. Whether it mean getting a lot of points, consistency in points, playing lockdown defense, whatever that may mean, we're going to gift him a successful postseason in 2021. Provided the Clippers make it, which I don't think they won't make it, but you know, we're going to gift him that. Hopefully, his shots don't hit the side of the backboard, and he doesn't look like, he wants to blame somebody else for something else that he did. But hey, that's just what I'm seeing. All right. Next up in the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo. We are going to give Giannis Antetokounmpo some growth in his game. If you've watched him play over the years, he's dominated the regular season. But when it's got to the postseason, he can't just duck his head and drive his way all the way to the basket. Teams build a wall around the basket, and he has to go with something else. Hence the playoff failures. So, he said that you hope the Clippers can get into the finals this year. Woo, that's big. They got to get into the Western Conference Finals first, though, Pablo. They haven't made that forever, or ever, I should say. Um, as far as Giannis, I love watching him play. He's a great defensive player. He's a great player overall, as the two MVPs in a row can tell you. However, he has got to step up in the playoffs. He has got to be more than the guy that if he just drives to the basket and he's cut off, he can't be as effective. He's got to find a way to be able to, the mid-range jump shot. That would be something he can add to his game. And if you watch the first game that they played this year, he's working on his free throws. He's trying different forms, but he's still got work to do at the free throw line. So for Giannis Antetokounmpo, or as people call him, the Greek Freak, he's got to get better at the other parts of his game and growth of his game. He is an exceptional player, but he can be that much better. And I got okay, and let's throw in. Pablo said, "No, stop reminding me." I'm sorry, man. I had to tell you about that one. I couldn't help it, man. I mean, hey, it's Clipper history. So, and good or bad, we gotta talk about it. As far as any other team in the NBA, we got Oklahoma City. We're gonna give them some more picks. No. But seriously though, maybe we can give them a superstar that actually they will keep and build around, because it seems like nobody stays there. You remember at one point in time they had James Harden, they had Serge Ibaka, they had Kevin Durant, they had Russell Westbrook. Now all four of those guys are gone. The only guy then they got Paul George and Carmelo Anthony one year. Carmelo left and went to the Rockets. Then you had Paul George get traded to the Clippers. I mean, it's just, I mean, they cannot keep a star there. I know they're taking on the approach of building it through the draft and wanting to get all these pieces built through the draft, but yeah, at one point in time, you got to find a way to get somebody to get there, because it's not always going to end up being a homegrown talent. They're hoping that Shea Gilgis Alexander becomes the guy. We'll see if that happens. They did trade for him, but out of those gazillion picks, I don't know if one of those turns into a superstar in OKC. And if the pick does turn into a superstar, can you please keep him? Can you please keep him and add pieces around him? Quit being scared of spending that money. Go ahead, spend that money. Go over the cap a little bit. Bring a championship there. I'm pretty sure things will balance out in terms of the money you spent versus, the championship or not. All right. Let's see. Think of any more in the NBA I can think of. Hmm. Can't think of too many more, but hey, if you're commenting, feel free to drop one on me if you can think of one that I missed or anything of that nature. I mean, definitely I can. We can always go back and talk about it. All right, I'm gonna talk about the NFL next. Definitely got a few there. The Atlanta Falcons. We're going to give them a closer mentality. For those that aren't familiar, they had a 28-3 lead against the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, and they lost. That was a few years back, and they lost the game. Ever since then, it just seems like when they get a big lead, they always find a way to lose it. So what we're going to give them is a closer mentality, maybe just any dominant closer you can think of. Uh, they need that guy in Atlanta so they can close games. I mean, at some point it's got to stop, and they've got to close out games, and they've got to be able to finish games and win games. And so far, they haven't figured it out in the last 3 years, and hopefully they will for Atlanta Falcons fans. But it's got to be painful to watch that happen, and it's got to be painful to think that sometimes fans are thinking they're going to find a new way to lose this lead. And a lot of times this year and the years past since the Super Bowl, they have found a way to lose leads. Ugh, hate it for them. I hate it for them, but hopefully they will find a way. All right. The team that I talk about and I cover, Tennessee Titans, is up next. And we're going to put under the tree for them a pass rush. The Tennessee Titans tried this offseason they got Jadeveon Clowney, they got Vic Beasley Jr. thinking, hey, that's going to solve the pass rush. They're going to be better. They're going to be able to do things. It fell flat on his face. Neither one of them had a sack this year. Jadeveon Clowney's out for the season with knee injury, and Vic Beasley Jr. got cut. So, Harold Beasley the third, Harold Landry the third is the best pass rusher on the team. He's not necessarily producing a whole bunch either, even though he is playing good ball and doing his thing, but he's just not producing as much as many would like for him to. And because of that, puts a strain on the defensive backs. And not saying that the Titans defensive backs are not any good or anything like that. It's just you putting a lot of pressure on them to make plays. And of course, it reflects in the third down percentages that they're giving up for opposing offenses. They're one of the worst teams in the league at giving up first downs on third down. And if you want to have championship aspirations, you cannot be one of the worst teams in that category. You just cannot do it. So we're going to give them a pass rush. I don't know where it's going to come from. If they make the playoffs, we're going to give them a pass rush because they sorely need one. It would do a world of wonder for that team. For the next team we got Denver Broncos. We're going to give them a new GM or president. For those that aren't aware, John Elway, former famed Hall of Fame quarterback, is their general manager president. And besides Peyton Manning, I don't think he's had any luck at evaluating and drafting a quarterback. Tell me who? Paxton Lynch? Nope. I mean, they tried a few other guys too. They didn't work either. So when are they going to get their quarterback? When are they going to get that right? John Elway hasn't got that right. He's let go of a few pieces to make you shake your head. And now Denver doesn't look like they're building towards any type of success. At this point, it's time for him to go. Another GM it's his time to step in there. He's got to go. He just has to go, and that's just what it is. So the Denver Broncos, we're gifting you a brand new general manager, president, because Elway has got to go. A great player, but as a GM and front office guy, he leaves a lot to be desired. Let's see. San Diego, we're going to give them a reprieve. Yeah, we're going to give them a reprieve to go back to San Diego. Never should have left. Ever since they've left San Diego, they have been like a nomad in the NFL. Even at their home games, before they got to this new stadium, there were more fans there cheering for the other team than was for their team. And they were playing in a smaller stadium as well, folks. So, to me, they need to go back to San Diego. The love affair between the Chargers and the city of San Diego was great. It was great to watch. Now you look at it and I don't understand where they're going to build the fan base there. That is the Rams are the better team. The Rams are the better draw because they have more history there. It doesn't make sense for them to be there. Find some way, San Diego, to draw it back up, figure it out, to get them back to San Diego because that's where they need to be and not in Los Angeles. It just looks like it looks a little bit uncomfortable. It's like Joe Namath in a different uniform. Just didn't look comfortable. It looks like almost like, Joe Montana in a Kansas City Chiefs uniform. That just, even though he played well for a little bit there, it just didn't look right. It looked awkward. And that's what this does with the Chargers in LA. Just looks awkward. All right. And last but not least, I've got one for, well, I will say this. Let me go for the Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball, we're going to wave goodbye to the unwritten rules. We're going to get a little box. You're going to give a gift to us, Major League Baseball. You're going to get rid of the unwritten rules. Just throw it in the box, bury it in the backyard, bury it wherever you want to put it. Because sometimes some of this stuff doesn't make sense. These unwritten rules, you can't wink twice at something or whatever. I don't know. It's just, no. You're losing a lot of the new fans by trying to keep these old traditions that nobody really wants to keep up with. So simple. Lose them. Lose them. Lose them. Lose them. They're done. Bye-bye. All right. Got another one. Let's see. The Tennessee Vols football team. Here's what I got. We're going to put a gift of them going back to the tradition of Tennessee or getting back to success there. They haven't been successful or consistently successful since Philip Fulmer was there. Think about how long ago that was. There's been quite a few coaches, namely Lane Kiffin and Dooley is there. I mean, they have Butch Jones, and now you've got Coach Pruitt there. They have not had consistent success since Philip Fulmer has been there. That's 4 different coaches. Say they're on average there about 4 years, 3 or 4 years. I'm just throwing a number out there. That I know Lane Kiffin wasn't there more than 1 year. I know that. But that's bad. I mean, honestly, you're looking at over 15 plus years of ineptitude, of inconsistency. And, that wasn't the case when Philip Fulmer was there. And there's looking like there's no end in sight at this point. So, what I'm going to put under the tree for them is basically a potion to get back to what they used to be, get back to the consistency that UT used to be. And by UT, I mean University of Tennessee, not University of Texas. No. Okay. All right. Another one in football. I'm going to get your face out of the camera. Well, there's no way to take my face out of the camera. I got to be part of the video. So I'll just find a comment in here. So I thought that was a funny joke. Hey, I'm a comedian. I stayed at the Holiday Inn. I'm just kidding. But let's see. As far as the NCAA football, let's see. I'm going to give let's see what I can do. Let's give Ole Miss a way to flash back in time. We're gonna give them a time travel machine. We're gonna give them Lane Kiffin as their head coach, but we're gonna give him AJ Brown and we're gonna give him DK Metcalf. For those that aren't familiar, DK Metcalf, who plays for the Seattle Seahawks, and AJ Brown, who plays for the Tennessee Titans, were both teammates at the University of Mississippi, or as is better known in the SEC, Ole Miss. So put those two together. You put them with Lane Kiffin, you might have better success. And yeah, definitely. So we're going to put a gift of a time machine for the Ole Miss Rebels under the tree. For Michigan, University of Michigan football, we're going to give Jim Harbaugh, University of Michigan is going to give Jim Harbaugh a pink slip. They thought much more success was going to be there when he got there, but unfortunately, he has not led them to anywhere, much less even a win over the Ohio State Buckeyes. So we're going to give him up under the tree a pink slip. I'm sorry, Coach Harbaugh, but it is what it is. We got a question over on the from Yassine Moore. What are my thoughts on the Bucks? The Tampa Bay Bucks. We're going to give them the gift of consistency because they have weapons, but they just are not consistent offensively at all times. They have all the weapons, run the football. That's what they should do. Run the football, then throw the football. But it seems like some games they come out and want to throw it. Some games want to come out and run it. if they would just pick one or the other, I think things would be okay. But who knows what they want to be. So that's my thoughts on the Bucks. I think they could definitely have enough. They definitely have enough talent, and defensively, I think they can make some things happen. So, definitely, I think the Bucks can win the NFC potentially. They have the potential to, but consistency is the key. I'm not sure they have the consistency. Okay, lastly, but not least, we're gonna go to NCAA basketball. Oh, can they make it to the Super Bowl? Yes, they have the potential to make it to the Super Bowl. You see, definitely, but they need more consistency. We're gonna go to NCAA basketball. We're gonna talk Kentucky basketball. We're gonna give them a reprieve to start the season over. We're gonna give them a time machine as well to start the season over. Kentucky's only won one game so far this year. One game with all that talent they have, number one recruiting class and everything. One game. Watching them play, seems like they don't play together a lot. They're still trying to figure each other out, and also defensively, they're still trying to figure some things out as well. Um, some of that is partly because they weren't be able to play together usually like they play together in the summer and things like that. Um, they're trying to get used to each other. This summer weren't able to because of course COVID and things like that. So they're still trying to learn each other. It's a little bit late, and I hate it for them. And but they got to figure it out. They don't have any much more time, and they're what 1-5, 1-6. It's pretty bad. That wasn't the season that they were expecting, of course, obviously. See, somebody asked me, is losing a talent? Well, I don't even know where that question came from. So talent. Oh, you're talking about the Bucks. The Bucks having talent. Yeah, the Bucks do have talent. They have enough talent to win the Super Bowl, but they don't have consistency. Somebody asked me, have I watched the Boondocks? I haven't watched it in a while, but yes, I know what the Boondocks are. Um, Another thing I'll give just for the NCAA. Let's just give them a right to waive. Let's give them a gift to all the players. I'm sorry, to transfer without having to sit out. Let me give you a reason why. If you look at the NCAA, look at how many coaches go from one place to another, and they don't have to sit out one time at all. And then you have those players that they recruited there. Now, I know people say that players shouldn't go to universities because of coaches, but let's be honest, a lot of them go to universities because of coaches. It's just how it is. There's no way around it. They like the university, yes, but they're going to be playing for a coach and spend the majority of their time with a coach. So a lot of them go there. So that'll be what, to me, I think they should let players transfer without having to sit out just because coaches don't have to sit out either. So that's what I feel. Hey, thank you for the nice compliments, Discombobulated Cry. I appreciate it. And hey, I got here somehow. I guess I worked hard or did what I needed to do. But yeah, my name's Mike Patton. You can catch me talking Titans. I'll be doing Titans talk Sunday, uh, breaking down what things they need to do to win the game, and also the post game as well, talking about basically what did go right and what did go wrong. You can find that work at the 3 Point Conversion. That's the number 3pointconversion.com. You can catch my Titans work there. Of course, you can catch me here doing Titans talk. Also, as far as on Twitter, you can catch me live tweeting the games at Mike Patton 82. Once again, that's at Mike Patton 82. Thank you for tuning in, and you all have a great night and a Merry Christmas to you all and Happy Holidays.